So now I am considering the data flow analysis in compiler. Data flow analysis, this provides the information regarding the definition and use of data in the program. So whenever we are going to use the data in the program, first we will write the program, and after it we will do all types of analysis, synthesis, and after that the information regarding the definition and use of data in the program, we also analyze that. Okay, so the data flow property represents the information which can be used for the optimization. So this is just the information regarding the data, how is data is going to flow, and for that we use the data flow analysis. Okay, and this data flow analysis is used for the purpose of the optimization. So far we have already discussed in detail about the optimization, because in optimization we have used a number of techniques to reduce the data, or we can say to optimize the data. So far, ultimately we can enhance the speed of the compiler. Okay, and also the memory occupied by the source program will reduce, and everything depend upon the memory utilization. If any program or the source code occupying the less amount of the memory, so ultimately it enhance the speed of the compiler, and it makes more efficient compiler. Okay, so these are the very important terminology which we will use for the purpose of the optimization, and optimization also involves a number of techniques. Okay, so far you have already studied regarding, we have already discussed in the preceding presentations. Okay, like the common sub expression elimination. Okay, you have already studied regarding the dead code elimination and so forth. So whenever we will use such type of techniques, then ultimately we will reduce the data. Okay, reduce the number of lines in the source program, and this is called the sort of optimization. So data flow analysis, which we will use for the optimization purpose. Now, what is the basic terminology related to the data flow analysis? So there are 3 points. Okay. So first point is called the definition point. Another is called the reference point. Third one is called the evaluation point. So we involve 3 points. So whenever we will have the program, or we are going to write any source code or the source program, as we apply as a input the source program, then how we will apply the data flow analysis. So for the data flow analysis, we must be aware by the some sort of flow chart. Okay, and with the help of that flow chart, how we are going to deal with the several functions involving in the program, then we use the basic terminology, and that terminology based on the definition point, reference point, evaluation point. Okay, so first we will start from the initial point of the source code, that is called the definition point. So a point in a program containing some definition. Okay, on the basis you are going to define your source code, your source program, then that is called the definition point. Another is called the reference point. What is the reference point? A point in a program containing a reference to a data item. Okay, because during the program we give the reference. There are several expressions which are dependent on the preceding expressions. So whenever we are using any expression and that depends on the preceding expressions, then we can say the preceding expression involved during writing the source code or the source program, that is called the reference point. Okay, so first is called the definition point. We will start, that is the initial point, and after that another point is called the reference point. Okay, from where the expression we start to write the expression, and some expression will depend on the preceding one. Then the preceding sub expression is called the, or the preceding expression is called the reference point. So from where we will start to work. Okay. third is called the evaluation point, because the evaluation point is the, you can say, the final point. Okay, evaluation point, on the basis of the evaluation point, you will evaluate whole expression. You will find out the output, that is called the target code execution, target code point. So a point in a program containing evaluation of expression. Okay, so there are several number of expressions which are dependent on the main expression. Okay, so there are several preceding expressions which will be depend on the final expression, and the final expression must be a long. So that point is called the evaluation point. So because finally we will solve our problem and find out the output. Okay, so that point is called the output will depend on the evaluation point. Okay, so on the behalf of the evaluation point, we will calculate the output of the program. So this is called the basic terminology which we will use for the data flow analysis. So whenever we will do the data flow analysis, so there are three important points. Okay, so first is called the definition point, another is called the reference point, evaluation, and third is called the evaluation point. And we will consider one of the examples so that you can understand easily about the definition point, reference point, and the evaluation point. Okay, so in the forthcoming slide, you can see how we will consider the definition point. Just I am considering one of the example here. Okay. So on the behalf of this example, you can understand easily. So first is the label one, L1. L1 colon is equal to A equal to. Okay. Just we are considering that there are some sub expression or some expressions, sub expressions which are involving during writing our source code. Okay. Now in this example, just you can see L1 colon A is equal to 2. Okay, it is just the starting of the your source program. Whenever you will write some grammar of the source code, okay, and after that you will start to write some expression which are necessary to write, or our output will depend on those. Okay, so here L1 colon is equal to A is equal to 2. So it is just the starting. This is called the definition point. Okay, so for the data flow analysis, first we will divide 3 points: definition point, reference point, evaluation point. So first is called the definition point. Now you can judge here. Okay. Here the block diagram is already given. Now you can see in this example. So L1 is equal to, here L1 colon equal A is equal to 2. Now this is called the starting point, initial point, or the definition point. Just I am talking regarding the expression and sub expression which will be involved during writing the program. Okay, and that will depend on the nature of the program, for what you are writing the program. Now come to another side. Okay, these are the sub statements we can say during writing. We can indicate here, these are the sub expressions. Here these are the blank blocks here. Now you can see here, these are the blank blocks. Okay, now here if the condition is here true, okay, then we will come to this side. Otherwise, we will again move to this. Okay. If the condition is false, then we will again move to the another same here block. Okay. Okay. Leave this. Now come to the second expression, or we can say the label L2. L2 colon B is equal to A. Okay. So B is equal to A. That was called the definition point. And now here at the L2 level. Okay, L2 level, you can see here, this is called the reference point. And the third point, this is called the evaluation point, L3 colon Z is equal to X star Y. Why this is called the evaluation point? Because on the behalf of this evaluation point, you will do the complete calculation, because this is the main expression on which the preceding expression will depend. Okay, now you can see here already L1 and L2. And here in case of the L3, so L3, here you can see this is indicating the evaluation point, because here you are doing the final calculation for all the preceding one. Okay, so now you can differentiate at each point. Okay, definition point, reference point, and evaluation point. Here you can see L2 colon B is equal to A, and A is equal to 2 already. Now we can replace this value. A is equal to 2 here. Here L2 colon B is equal to, again we will get the 2. Okay. So this is called the reference point. Why we are saying to this point a reference point because this depends on the preceding value of the A. Okay, here we are going to assign the same value as we are going to define A is equal to 2. So we will replace here. Okay, so this is called the reference point. Why this is called the reference point? Because this depends on the value of this A. And evaluation point because here we are going to calculate final value and the output will depend on the evaluation point. So there are 3 points. Remember these 3 points. And whenever we are going to do the data flow analysis, then we will involve these 3 points. Okay. Now come to the data flow properties. What are the different data flow properties? So data flow properties involve available expression. Okay. Now what is the available expression? An expression is said to be available at program point X if along path it's reaching to X. Okay. Now in this case again you can see in the coming example we will see that what is the available expression and how we will approach toward the available expression. In this case also there is a case of the dependency. Dependency means the final expression will depend on the preceding one. Okay, how we will involve our calculation during writing the source code if we are going to write any program and that for that we are going to calculate the output. Okay, and the output um, depends on the preceding one. Then an expression is available at its evaluation point. Okay, so the final expression which is available, okay, that evaluation point we can say that is called the available expression. So that final expression will be called the available expression and that will depend on the calculation of the preceding one. Now you can see here an expression a plus b is said to be available if none of the operands gets modified before their use. Okay, if we are using those expression and we are not getting modified those operands. Okay, here we are using the expressions and we are not modifying the values of the operands. Then now we can see here in the example L1 is equal to 4 star I. Okay, L1 is equal to 4 star I. This is called the B1. What is the B1? Block number 1. Okay, our target is to divide our source code into number of basic blocks. We have already studied about the basic blocks. Okay, this is the complete source program. Then for our simplicity and for the simplicity of the compiler or whenever we want to reduce the load over the compiler and we want to increase or enhance the efficiency of the compiler, then first we will divide our source code into number of basic blocks. Okay, number of basic blocks. Now here we are doing the nomenclature as a B1, B2, B3. So these are the different basic blocks and just we are indicating by B1, B2, B3. And now you can see here the position L1, just we are going to assign a expression that is the 4 star I. Okay, now come to the basic block B2. So in the basic block B2, just you can see y is equal to x plus dl1. Okay, now you can see here in case of the second block B2, so B2 has dependency on B1. Okay, preceding block without the involvement of the B1, you cannot calculate the value of this. Okay, because just here you are involving dl1 and dl1 has the dependency on the preceding calculation or we can say the preceding blocks, basic block. Okay, now come to the b3. So l2 is equal to 4 star I. It means here l1 and l2 are same. Okay, l1 and l2 are same, 4 star I. Again L2, here we are again assigning L2 is equal to 4 star I, means the same expression. So there is no need to assign the L2 here. L2 is equal to 4 star I. Now you can see expression 4 star I is available for block B2 and B3. Here you can see that L1 same 4 star I is available for B2 as well as for B3 because 4 star I is same. Okay, is same for both. Now you can just change the value for that. Here you can say that 4 star I is common. Okay, so this is also used for the common sub expression elimination. Okay, common sub expression elimination. So no need to write again. Now you can see here 4 star I involves in V2, and also if just we will forget about the L2 label. Okay, just forget about the L2, then 4 star I is same. Okay, so it is involving again and again. Now we can say 4 star I is available for block B2 and B3, because in case of B2 just we are using DL1 in the common X plus DL1. So it is available in the B2 also and in B3 also. Okay, 4 star I is available in the B3 also. Now, what is the advantage of this? What is the advantage of data flow, or we can say the available expression? Now we can say 4 star I is available. So available expression means 4 star I is involving again and again in case of B2, in case of B3. Okay, at the initial point it is involving, and again we are involving at B2 level and B3 level. Okay, just forget about the L2, even though we are already aware that there must be a involvement of the common sub expression. Okay, here we are involving common sub expression. Now there is a need to eliminate those. Okay, because whenever we will do the optimization, then there is a need arise to eliminate such type of expression. So ultimately, our goal is to enhance the speed of the compiler. To make more efficient compiler, just we will eliminate such type of expression. Okay. But here just I am giving example for the available expression. Now you can say at V2 and V3 level, the expression is available. Now what is the advantage of this? Why we are using this available expression? Advantage is this: it is used to eliminate the common sub expression. Okay, our target is to eliminate the common sub expression. Now come to the another definition, that is called the reaching definition. So available expression, reaching definition, these all are involved in case of the data flow analysis. So these type of terminology we will use during the data flow analysis. Now, what is the reaching definition? A definition D is, here you can say reach a point X if there is a path from D to X in which D is not killed, that is not redefined. Okay, if any expression we are not going to redefine. Now we will understand better in case of the coming example. You can see here. So, and what is the advantage of this? It is used in constant and variable propagation. Okay, it is used in constant and variable propagation, where we will use the constant value, and if there is a involvement of the variable propagation, we are again defining the same variable again and again, or we are assigning the same expression to a number of variables. So, how we will define this reaching definition with the help of the example. Now you can see here. Again, there are three basic blocks: B1, B2, B3. Now you can see here D1 colon X equal to 4, D2 colon X is equal to X plus 2, D3 colon Y equal to X plus 2. Okay. So first we will divide our source code into number of basic blocks. Just here we are considering the example of several sub-expressions which will be written during writing the source program. Okay, if your source program is related to such type of whatever you are going to do the activity and related to your output. Now, just differentiate. D1 is reaching definition for B2. Okay, D1 is reaching definition for B2. Okay, now just you can check here. D1 is reaching definition for B2. Why? X is equal to 4, and this depends on this value. Okay, here again we are going to write X equal to X plus 2. So here the value of X will change and it will be 6. Okay, now it is very simple. Just here you are defining or assigning x is equal to 4 initially. Okay, that we have already divided into number of blocks, and now the same value of the B1 block we will use in the second block B2, because these are the dependent expressions. So here at D2 level, you can see here x is equal to x plus 2. Now this value becomes 6. Okay, at B2 level, at basic block B2, this value will change. Okay, now the final value of x here at B2 level, you can say 6. Now come to the B3. B3, here the scene is different. Here, this is the new variable y, and just you are going to assign x plus 2. This is the same expression x plus 2, and you are going to define here assigning to y. Okay, even though this y you have not used earlier. Okay, so this is new one variable. So here we can say d1 is reaching definition for b2. So D1 is reaching definition for B2, but not for B3, since it is killed by D2. Okay, since it is killed by D2. Okay, because here just you are defining the new variable. Okay, and just you are not defining this variable before y. If you are going to write again here x is equal to x plus 2, then you can consider the x is equal to 6. Okay, from here, and then again you can write x is equal to x plus 2, and you will get here x value of x is equal to 8. Here you are not getting the value of x again. Here you are assigning x is equal to 4. Here you are again printing value of x. This becomes 6. But here you are not going to print the value of x. Okay. Here just you are involving y. So we can say that it is little bit different than at this level. Okay. At D3, this becomes new one. Okay. Now we can say D1 is reaching definition for B2, okay, but not for B3, but not for B3, since it is killed by D2. Now it is killed by D2, because here we are going to change this variable. So we can say that it is killed by D2, okay, and y is the new variable which we have never defined earlier, okay. So again here we can choose the value of, either we can consider again 4, okay, because initially it is defined 4, then we can consider as 4 or either 6. So there is a contention between these two due to the new variable. Or if we have here x, then we can say again x is equal to x plus 2, then we can consider this 6 value and we can put here. Then we can say this is dependent on the preceding one, but due to the new variable we cannot say. So it is killed by D2. Okay, so this is new one variable and this is killed by D2. So this is called the reaching definition, up to which the sub expression dependent on the preceding expression. Then we can say reaching definition. Okay, it is reaching up to here, and this is new one. So we can say this is not called the reaching definition, and this is killed by the this one. Okay, due to the new variable involvement. Now, what is the live variable? So this is another terminology which we will use. What is a live variable? So a variable is said to be live at some point P. Okay. Now for this, again, we will consider some example so that you can understand easily with the help of the example. Okay. So a variable is said to be live at some point P if from P to end. Okay. If from P to end the variable is used before it is redefined. Okay, it means you are using the same variable until it is redefined. Okay, else it becomes dead. Otherwise, it is called the dead. Okay, so we cannot change instantly the same variable by the new one. Okay, So if we are using from initially, as we have already defined the variable, and within the block or outside the block, then we can say the variable is live. Okay. And instantly, if you are defining another new variable for the same one, then the terminology will be changed. Okay, then that variable is not called the live variable. What is the advantage? Now you can see here, it is useful for register allocation. Okay, whenever we are going to use or store any previous value, okay, then or we are going to save our value temporary in the temporary register. Okay, so it is useful for register allocation, because in the register these are called the temporary value we can save here. So it is useful for the register allocation, and it is used in dead code elimination. Okay, so this is also called the dead code elimination. Here we will eliminate such type of variables, and at that time it is not called the live variable. Now we will see one of the example here. Again, we will define our source code into number of variable first. Okay. First, remember, divide our source code into number of basic blocks. And after that, you can see here how we are going to divide that. Now, here you can see various expression. A is equal to 4. Okay. So this is B1. Again, C is equal to 7. Just we are going to define into another basic block B2. And again, B is equal to 5, B3. Okay, this is the basic block B3. And U is equal to A plus B. This is called the basic block 4. And at the last, B5 is equal to, here at the basic block B5, you can see here A is equal to C plus U. So A is live at block B1. Now you can see here A is live. Okay, A is live at B1, B3. Okay, B1, B3, B4, but killed at B5. Now why we are saying at B1, B3, B4? We are just considering the basic block B3, because at B4 level, at basic block B4, U is equal to A plus B, and this is dependent on the preceding basic block B3. Okay, at B1 we have A is equal to 4. It is okay, no problem. It is the initial value, live variable. Now B3, A is live at block B1, B3, B4. So why A is live at B3? Because this expression depends also on the B3. U is equal to A plus B, and this depends upon the value of this and this. Okay. So here you are going to assign the value of 4 and B is equal to 5. So you will have here U is equal to A plus B, and the value will come here 9. Okay. At B4. So we can say, because this has the dependency on B1, B3, so we can say A is equal to 4. This is called the live variable, and live up to B3, B4. At starting initially, okay, it is live because just you are going to define at B3, B4, because it will depend on the value of U. Okay, and U depends on A and B. So that's why we are considering block B3. Okay, and of course the block B4. Now come to the B5. B5 is equal to A is equal to C plus U. Okay, now you can see here the B4, here it has no connection. A is equal to has no direct connection. Okay, it is coming C plus U. Here this value is C plus U, but killed at 8.5 at B5. So why it is called killed at B5? Because this has no dependency on direct the value of A4. Okay, here the scene is going to change. You cannot write direct A here. Okay, you cannot write direct A because here you are going to assign the new variable. Now you cannot write A here. So at this level, you cannot say A is live. Okay, at this level, it is not live because here we will not get the exact value as well as initial value already we are assigning 4 and this 4 now you can add C plus U. So C plus U here just you can check it will not come equal. Okay, this is 9 here, C plus U, and this is 16. So the value here is 16 and initially A is equal to 4. So here there is a failure of the value. Okay. So this is live only here initially where you are going to define and this is live here. Okay, A. Now you have to assign the new variable here. No need to write A like this. Okay, here you are assigning U. So here you must assign a new variable so that you can calculate the exact value. So A is live at only block B1 because here you are going to define initially and this has the dependency on this. Okay, so we can say A is live at block B1, B3, B4 but killed at B5. So it is killed. You cannot write again A is equal to C plus U. Okay, because initially you have already defined A is equal to 4. So we can say this is killed at B5. So this is one of the example here. You can see now busy expression. What is the busy expression? An expression is busy along a path if its evaluation exists along that path. Okay. Again, there is a dependency of the main expression with the preceding one, and none of its operand definition exists before its evaluation along the path. What is the advantage? It is used for performing code movement. Okay. So we will use this busy expression during the optimization condition. It is used for the performing code movement optimization. So this is the last one. So these terminology, data flow analysis and everything we will use for the optimization condition. So this is just the end of the optimization and end of the unit number 4. Okay. So I am just taking your attendance here. Now any question if you want to ask then you can ask. Okay, any query, please welcome. Any query, please. Hello. So just I am stopping here.